welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to be playing with this mini cake stand.
And I'm interrupting myself to say I didn't know it then, but this is one of the cutest things I've ever done.
And the idea that I got for this is to turn them into displays or habitats or encapsules for mini pet hearts. Not pet rocks, but pet hearts. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we'll see, right?
Okay, I'm ready. And for this idea, I'm going to use, of course, this mini cake stands and air dry clay that I'm going to use to shape my pets. And look at me. I have tools now. I bought a set of $3 clay tools that I hope will improve my modeling game. Anyhow, when I got these little containers or like mini cake stands, I didn't know what I was going to use them for. I just got them because they were cute. And it actually took me a long while to get an idea. I had one of these stands in my purse for weeks because I believed that just by having it near me, something would spark, and it did. I decided to use them as displays, like for desserts, but I did not want to make little desserts because that's just no. And also, my modeling skills are not there. So I thought, okay, I'll put my pet hearts in there. And the pet heart idea came to me probably 2 years ago. Was this over the pandemic? I don't remember. I did have a mini Instagram account for a hot second where I posted some of these drawings, but then I took them down. So I thought it was going to be a cute idea to make them 3D. So yeah, I thought these would be the perfect stands to hold them. So the first thing I did was roll up a ball of that clay, get it wet, and get the heart shape in, which is not difficult. Thank God it's one of the easiest shapes because I have a lot of problems with getting this clay smooth. I think I should just like cut my fingernails tiny, but I don't feel like it. So I'll carry on like this until I get better at modeling, I guess. And what I did for this heart is just I took the ball of air dry clay, made a heart shape, and with my wonderful new tools, I made the eye socket and then just scored both parts of the clay so I can put a little ball in. With the first heart done, I moved to the second one, and I did think about showing the process from beginning to end of each piece, but I actually gonna edit this video so I show you my process exactly in the order I did it. And I molded and sculpted the first day, and then 2 days after, when it was dry, I painted and put everything together. So that's what I'm showing to you. For the second heart, I wanted to have wings. I was having a little trouble sculpting those, so again I used my working surface as a writing surface, and I created a mold and I shaped my wings to match what I drew. I did make sure to have both wings be the same size and matched, and then I went on and did all of the little details. And I am glad I did buy this little tool set because it's helping me mold them and just score everything. It's much better. Maybe things will get better from now on. With my two wings ready, I did score both pieces, wings and the little heart, so they will stick together as they dried. And after I secured them on, I decided to just in case measure it in my little dome, and they wouldn't fit. The heart doesn't fit with the wings, so I had to adjust that a couple of times until I was sure it would fit inside the little plastic thing. Then do the eye sockets again and put a couple of balls in there for the eyes. Okay, so my second winged angel heart is done, and for the third one I decided I wanted it to be like a plant, so I'm having a flower on top of its right side. I start to make the petals one by one, and I do grab the little bugs where the tools came from reference to see if, I would understand what all of these are for. And it did kind of explain how to shape petals, so I go ahead and do that. And I'm using my tools to get the shape right and also to make sure those petals are really glued to the rest of the heart. Time for the eye sockets again. Pop those eyes right in, and my third heart is ready to leave on the side to dry. And when I was doing this, I looked to the side and I saw the second heart, and it looks like a frog. So I grabbed it again before it was dry, and I decided to take out those bulgy eyes and replace them for smaller ones. I actually took one eye and made two of them. It did need that little surgery. So now they're ready to dry until the next day. But before letting everything dry overnight, I'm going to do another step, which is work on these little exhibitors or habitats for my hearts. What I'm doing is with Model Magic, I'm creating little like pillows or receptors for the hearts to not stand, but lay on. Okay, and I'm using Model Magic for this part instead of the air dry clay because since it dries like foam, I thought it would be great for me to hot glue it onto the plastic base once it's dry. Now the thing with this Model Magic, which is the one I'm using, is actually not the Crayola brand, it's just a brand that they sell here in Ecuador. It's really sticky. It's like gum because it's so fresh. So I'm having trouble working with it, and I was trying to make a cloud shape for my first one, and it's not working. So once again, I draw my design on my working surface and try to go from there. And after struggling with it for a while, I do manage to get a cloud shape that I like. And I do a little fit test to see if it's going to close right, if it's going to work. And it does. And for this one, since the heart is so simple, I also wanted to add a rainbow. And I couldn't find any cardstock anywhere, so I'm using one of my thank you cards. But that's okay, I'm going to paint over it with my Poscas and it'll be good. I did want to cut the rainbow now because I wanted to create a little slots where this would fit once the clay was dry and everything would look good. Everything seems to be set and ready for my first heart, so on to the next one. And I'm working on the plant heart right now, and I'm making a little pot for it because I want it to be like it's planted and you can take it out. So I make a cylindrical shape, and now I'm working on the little edge that goes with it. And because my clay is so sticky, I am having a little bit of trouble handling it, so I'm going to leave this one to the side and go ahead and create a second cloud for my little angel heart. After a while, the clay is a little bit drier, so I can take the pot back and give it the little ledge so it would look like a planter. And with that, I have all of my pieces ready to dry, and the next day I have a clean surface and I'm going to start to paint. I bring in my first cloud with my first heart and I put everything together to see how it looks. And the first thing I do is paint my rainbow. I don't want to ruin my work surface just yet, so I'm using a little paper towel underneath. I go over my cardboard piece with each color on both sides and it's ready. Then for the cloud, a first layer of white paint. I have to let that dry and then I'll do the details. While that dries, I'm working on the heart. I'm going to paint it all pink. I told you this was going to be the simplest one of them all. And with that completely covered in paint, I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. Onto my second heart, and once I grab it, I break one of its wings. It's okay, I have a glue gun, so I give the cloud a layer of white paint as well, set it aside to dry, and for the heart, I decide to go with this teal kind of baby blue color. I think it's fitting. Set all of that aside before I grab my third and final heart and its components. And the first thing I notice is now that the clay is dry, the heart doesn't fit anymore, so I try to make that hole bigger, and I take one of my markers and I just push it in. Listen to that. And that works. And that's because this modeling clay is so flexible, you can still work with it. It's just like foam. I cover my whole pot with this brown color, and I really love how a little bit of the orange is showing through because it seems more like terracotta. And I use a little bit of black for the inner part that it's supposed to be the dirt, just straight from the bottle in there. Set that to the side to dry, and it's time to paint my third and final heart, which is obviously going to be green. And once again, as I put that to the side to dry, I jump back to the other projects, and as I told you, I really didn't have an order to this. I just did anything that I could, and it was dry, so I could keep the process moving along. So now I have jumped back to heart number one, and I'm giving it a second layer. And the only thing I did do successfully is ruin a perfectly good manicure in about an hour. I'm jumping back to the second heart, painting the wings gold. I need a paper towel for this one again because I didn't have anywhere to hold it. And as that dries, I try to do the face details. I try with the Posca first, but it's really hard. So I bring out one of my smaller brushes brushes, and of course my head needs to be in there so I can see what I'm doing. And with the brush I managed to paint the eyes, but for the eyebrows and the mouth I do use an extra fine point Posca that I finally purchased. Back to the first heart, like I told you, do the eyes and cheeks and details for this one, and I cut a lot of that process because my head was in the way. And then again back to the second one for some highlights on its eyes. I keep jumping back and forward to all my hearts, but this one is finished, and look at that.
It's the cutest little thing.
Okay, it's back to the third one to paint that flower, which I had not painted. And since everything else is drying, I carry on working on this little piece. I finish the center of the flower. I also finish the face, coloring the eyes. I add some cute freckles, do the rest of the details, and with that, my third and final heart is done. And oh, I forgot I had to glue this, my glue gun to the rescue, and I put that wing back together. I think it looks cute and perfect. Here are the three little hearts, so cute all together. My ruined manicure and all of the other pieces that I need to put my pet hearts and their little displays or habitats together. I did also buy this ribbon that I want to use to decorate the stands. And with those bows done, I'm ready to glue it all together. For the first one, I cut the rest of the rainbow, and when it dried, I did lose those little indentations I made for the cardboard, so I have to cut them back again. But as I said, this Model Magic clay, it's just like foam, so it's really easy to cut into. Glue the rainbow in, glue the cloud, and with the little nook or habitat in place, I add some of the ribbon around the base of the stand and finish it off with the little bow I made before. Plop my heart into his little house, and that first one is done. I'll show it to you in detail later. Second heart, the same steps, glue the little cloud in, add some ribbon and decoration to the stand with the little bow, and just plop in my little heart. Final heart, the plant one, again, I glue my little pot in place. I also add ribbon to this one, the little bow I made in the center to hide the seam, plop my little plant heart in its pot, and it's ready to go. And here are all my three pet hearts, and I absolutely love them. I'm in love. Look at this. They're so incredibly cute. I love that they have their little houses and they all fit in their little like nests. I just love this craft. I hope you like it too. Please let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see what you think. And if you like this and you want me to do something similar, please consider subscribing to my channel. Have a great day!